Here's the key about prayer. Jesus was about to pray to his Father, and look what he says in verse 42. And I'm going to give you 3 steps here. He says this, Father, if you are willing, remove this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done. That prayer right there is so incredibly powerful, you could write a whole book just on that. 3 things that he did. Recognize, request, release. Anytime you come alone with God, we need to operate through these 3 things. Recognize, request, release. Recognize God's power. God's power over all things. What did he say? Father, if you are willing. There's some scriptures that say you can remove this cup from me, which means if you're willing, I know what you can do.
You do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want. God, you can change this whole situation. I'm recognizing your power in this situation. I've got no power. I'm recognizing your power. Number 2, the request. He says, remove the cup. Can I not go through this? Why would the Son of God pray this prayer? If he doesn't go through and drink the cup, then we don't get salvation. Right? He's not crowned an anointed king. You know why he's praying this? Because he's tempted to not drink it. He's already said, pray that you don't enter into temptation. And Jesus is like, oh,
I need this.
So I'm going to make my petition. So it's recognized. It's request. So he's making his request. And his request was something that didn't line up with God's will. Isn't that interesting? That Jesus in that moment prayed and asked for something that wasn't God's will. The specific thing. It's like, okay, so in my own humanity, God, this is what I'm asking you for. This cup seems too much for me to drink. I pray that you would heal that person. I pray that you would, when I prayed for my mom, God, you can heal her in the name of Jesus. I went and placed my hands on her head and I prayed, it's like, God, you can do this. And I claimed life over her and healing. And then had to make the request and then ultimately had to move to step number 3. And what is that? Release. But God, I release her into your hands. You do what you want to do. I want my will to line up with your will. And I know in my own humanity, I might be asking you for something that doesn't line up with your perfect will. And therefore, I'm saying, I don't want my thing, I want your thing. What did he do? He recognized, he requested, and he released.